Good morning, everybody. Today is March 12th, 2018. This is MMA Junkie Radio's pre-show, the show before the show. I am Ghost. To my left is MMA Junkie Radio's fight analyst, Dan Tom. To my right, if you're watching the camera here, Joseph Duffy is in studio. We've talked to this guy a long time. Now we finally get him in studio. I'm so distracted right now. I'm watching this girl. She's eating a burrito in 2 minutes. A giant burrito. I don't know how she's doing this. I don't know how she's not dying. Back in New York is our producer, Danny Okers. Danny, have you seen the girl that eats the burrito in 2 minutes?
No, I want to see this now.
Good God.
Danny sounds very excited about that, by the way.
You can't say that and not show me.
Wow.
Are you guys into something? Is this some kind of new fetish I'm not aware of?
No, it just
what are you guys talking
popped
about?
up on my Facebook
okay,
feed,
I was like, what?
and she's at the end of it. And there's no audio, but for sure it's like or something. Oh, she even scooped up like the little pieces that she dropped.
My goodness.
God, this girl's a beast.
Okay, now you're getting my attention, I'll admit.
Wow. She even sticks out her tongue at the end. Like somebody would even have the balls to call her on like, hey, I think you still have some. Joseph Duffy, what's your favorite American food?
American food. I don't know. It's hard to beat a good burger, you know.
Yeah. It's true.
You know, when I'm here, look, first time I was in New York, we went to the Shake Shack. So.
Oh, there's one here too.
Yeah, they have one up here.
Nice.
So me and Ali were down there the last day in the Shake Shack. It's hard to beat.
What about you like Mexican food?
Yeah, yeah.
Burritos, like what you just had?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Burritos, tacos.
All right, we're all gonna get along here today. I like, and now, granted, I don't know that if you guys make this or not, or if it's the American spin on it, but there's an Irish pub here that has Irish nachos.
Okay.
That are awesome.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
that make sense,
Which
or is
one?
that something we did? Okay, I'm going to pull it up. It's called McMullen's.
McMullen's.
It's right on Tropicana. Let's see.
They essentially just throw a bunch of shit on chips, you know. They just throw
Yeah.
I'm sure I ordered from there the last day on Uber Eats.
Nice.
You're not going to believe how big these Irish nachos are, man. All right.
Hello.
How's it going? You well?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I'm George.
Nice to meet you, George.
You too.
All right, check this out.
I gotta slide in. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
These are this is the mini, or this is the half order.
Hold on a minute.
That's the half order.
Jesus.
So that's not something you guys do. That's something that we just took and ran.
Definitely, like the kind of the boiled bacon on it, like, and the scallions and that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the kind of food we'd eat or whatever. But I think that's adding the nachos. There's a spin over here.
Yeah, it's
Don't
pretty
get
good,
me wrong.
man.
I wouldn't mind trying it. Like,
We should just
Coming
leave
up here
here
in
and go do
30.
that. You guys can handle the show, right?
Just order them to the show right now.
I don't know if they're open. That's the one with. That's the mini portion.
What are you guys talking about?
The Irish
Nachos.
nachos at McMullen's.
Oh, that's right. How long are you in town?
I'm here for just over another week now, about 10 days.
And
Leave,
you're not
Hi, guys.
you're not in weight
Coming
cutting
up.
mode or
Stand by.
nothing?
No, definitely not. I haven't stepped on the scales for a little bit, so.
Hey, how come you didn't ask us if we're in weight cutting?
I know you are, boys. You're peak condition.
Yeah, obviously, right?
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Ghost. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'!
You like gourmet hot dogs?
Yeah!
Gourmet hot dogs?
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
You must be in weight cutting mode when you're looking at all
There's
this.
no escape. No escape.
Did you drive here?
No,
Through
no,
the
I got an
vast
Uber here.
frontier of cyberspace.
One of the lads is on the way
And through
here
a
now.
sea of
Puna.
stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes. Ari's co-host to my left, it's the fight analyst, Dan Tom. Of course, back east, handling all the producing duties, as always, Danny Otto. And our special co-host for the day, it's UFC lightweight Joseph Duffy. What's up, Duff Man? How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Is Duff Man okay?
Duff Man, I'm well used to
yeah?
Duff Man.
All right. The guys that told me, they sent me a text earlier. They go, let's call him Jackass. I go, no, let's have some respect. Duff Man sounds good to me, right?
I've been called a lot worse than need that.
So I had to call them off. I don't know. How they've been treating you good since I got here?
Very good. Very
yeah?
good.
All they're giving you a foodie tour or something like that of what's available in Vegas?
Coffee.
We're talking food. Living the good life here.
All right. Well, thanks for reaching out to us, man. It's great to have you. We always love to have the fighters come in and not just have a spot, hey, who you fighting next? Hey, who do you want to fight? You know, all that stuff. But to really chill and get to hang out with you, get to know you, let the audience get to know you. And then, of course, we'll talk about our favorite sport, mixed martial arts. Is it you like to talk about mixed martial arts? Aside from your career, are you a big fan?
I wouldn't say like I'm the biggest fan. I wouldn't say I watch every show.
You know who headlines this Saturday?
No.
We got some work to do. Okay. So it's Fabrice Verdum against Alexander Volkov at UFC London. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, so you know something.
I know bits and pieces.
You know, like Cowboy Cerrone? He knows nothing. Jack shit. He literally couldn't tell you, like, if you told him Habib and Tony are fighting, he'd go, really? He may actually, that may shock him. That's how much he pulls away from the sport. And then there's others that know every single matchup. They will break down fights. So it's pretty unique. You know, I always like to see where our guests sit.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle, really. Like, I like to get away from it. But as a fan, like, when I sit down and watch a fight, I would study it more than I would watch it for enjoyment, you know? I'd rather sit down and watch other sports, you know, if I was going to chill out, like.
Did you catch the boxing? Mikey Garcia?
No, I didn't see any boxing. I was watching, I've been following the rugby. Every morning I'm getting, like, on the weekend I wake up for the rugby.
Is there a big tournament happening right now?
A big tournament happening in Europe.
Is that the Sevens or the...
No, the Sevens was here. Wasn't
Yeah.
it
It was last week, I think, right?
Yeah, it was here.
no, it's the Six Nations. 6 Nations. So it's
Is it
like
always the same six?
same six? We play every year. Starts in February and then ends. It'll end Saturday actually.
Why is that? Like, what if there was another country that were to step up and just be one of the better 6 teams? Are they always going to be, like phased out or?
No, it's like I remember when I was younger, it was the 5 nations. Then Italy came along. Then so Italy joined. And I know with the Tri Nations, with Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Argentina's joined that as well. So I'm sure if any other countries are, if rugby's getting big in them countries, they'll join into it. You know.
So you named 4: South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and Italy. Are the other 2 France and England?
No, that's a different competition. That's like the Southern Hemisphere competition.
Oh, what are the 6 nations then?
The 6 nations would be Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England, France, and Italy.
Oh, okay.
So they all play each other. There's a few little trophies in amongst it. Little rivalries. And then like you got the winner of the 6 nations, and if a team defeats everybody, they win the Grand Slam as well. So that's kind of as good as you can get.
Did you play rugby? Is that why you like it, or?
Played in school, yeah. Played a lot in school. I loved it.
What was your position? Runner? I don't know. It seems like that's all everyone's doing.
Pretty much. Outside center.
Outside center.
So we'd be running, tackling, but we wouldn't get involved in
the scrum.
Exactly.
Okay, I know some stuff. Yeah. You know what I've never been able to figure out is when one guy lifts the other one and they're supposed to throw it down the middle. I always feel like, why wouldn't you always just kind of throw it to your guy? Even if it's 1% to your side. It just, I don't know, I wish the referee would do it. Like the referee in basketball, he throws it up and he tries to be as impartial as possible and they both tip it. But this one's always like, here it goes down the middle, with a wink. And you have a feeling like everyone practices it so it goes to the side. So I don't know. It's always...
Yeah, I don't know about the lineouts, but the scrums are a bit like that. They always look like they're fed to the...
Does it get pretty nasty in there?
It gets rough. I'm actually reading one of the books, one of the old Irish captains, and he's talking about some of the stuff off the ball, and it's pretty interesting, you know.
What's he said?
He's saying like a lot of the hits used to go in the ref wouldn't see, or the thing, the cameras wouldn't catch, you know. But that would have been before. I think it got a lot stricter then. There was a few things that happened, and then it really got strict on this type of thing. There was a lot more bans. And
Do you like American football?
tell you the truth, I never watched a full game in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I only got it explained to me. I would say maybe a few weeks ago. I think the Super Bowl was on. I was asking my girlfriend's brother. Was asking him about it. I didn't really know much about it.
Are you open-minded? Like, is it something you would like to learn, or
Yeah,
the
definitely.
hell with these Americans?
No, I'll sit down. Like, I'm a big sports fan, you know. I would sit down and watch most sports. So, you know, if I sat down and it captivated me, I'd definitely get into it.
What about when you were in Canada? Did anybody ever try and show you the Canadian football, also known as NFL Light?
No, like never seen it. Didn't have no TV channels or none of that crack. So
Plus, they're talking in French, right? Did you pick up any French up?
a bit. It's hard, very hard.
Yeah.
I've done a French course for a month, and I'm still no further ahead. But
Will you do part 2, or did you give up?
I'm just learning bits and pieces off my missus. But my girlfriend's mother, she doesn't speak English, so if I ever want to talk to her, I'm gonna have to get my lingo
So
up.
why? Yeah, my question is, why would you want to do that, right?
Yeah.
You always get that's your buffer. It's already made for you. You know what I mean? I don't know what she said. I don't know. You know, like, why have to hear the chirping?
Yeah.
No
So when she
char-
says, Joseph, I need a ride to the mall, you could go, I don't know what she's saying. Somebody else deal with this.
I don't know. Yeah.
No chirping, lads. I got an easy life up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're chill people.
Nice. So the girl is French Canadian.
French Canadian. Yeah, she's a translator. Thank God. Otherwise, there'd be no hope for me.
So right away, we can already say that move to TriStar benefited in you meeting a girl.
Sure did.
Even if whatever happens with your career happens, this is one of the best things that ever happened to you in your life.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I got a good girl. She gives me no stress. You know, she's very supportive. You know,
How'd you meet?
in a bar.
Yeah.
Irish stories.
Okay. Let's go into detail here. Just did you have to go like, watch this? You know, like go over like with a line and throw a line her way or send her a drink. What was your strategy, mate?
I was just doing the normal thing, you know, just drinking. And then after a few vodkas, then it was easier getting chatting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was just.
She just happened to pull up next to you, or did you have to like migrate over slowly?
No, she was the barmaid.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at you.
Yeah, that was it. So she kept.
So
serving.
she's heard all the lines.
Yeah,
You had to be pretty slick then.
Well, it was just like I think obviously my accent's all messed up anyway. So she was wondering where I was from. She was probably all confused, and kind of went from there.
And how long did it take you to throw out the fighter line?
Oh, I don't mention that.
Really?
At all?
Never.
Don't think
Never
don't think we
understood
won't follow up on this.
You
If we
go.
see it, we're gonna ask her. You sure?
Yeah, you follow up, boys.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When do they usually find out? Like second date, third date?
Like she was asking what I was doing here, and I asked her if she heard a TriStar, and she was like, "No." I said, "Oh, don't worry," like, because it's awkward explaining, you know. Especially if people like it's kind of still a young sport, I find as well. So sometimes when you're explaining MMA to people, they're like, "Oh, that stuff in the cage." So I just say little, but she was doing a bit of stalking on Facebook, and then she figured it out. But she didn't really know much about the sport, so I kind of had to explain the most of it to her anyway.
Mm-hmm. And what was her reaction to you being a fighter?
She didn't really mind, really. Like she didn't know what to make of it. I think she didn't know much about it. When we went up to Toronto to watch what show was it? When Swanson fought Korean Superboy.
Okay. Duho Choi.
Yeah, it was.
That was a great fight, man.
Oh, that was crazy.
Fight of the year.
Probably the best fight I've ever seen live in my life. It was unbelievable. But yeah, that was the first show she ever went to, and she couldn't believe it. Like when she seen the crowd, she was like, "This many people come to watch this?" Yeah,
That's awesome.
She finds it hard to watch, but.
Would you ever want a fight like that on your record? Because as great as it looked for all of us, it probably sucked for them, right? Like, is that something that, I mean, I'm sure they look back on it and say, hey, this is a cool thing that happened, but man, that was a rough fight.
Yeah, it was a rough fight. I suppose if you get a win, it's not too bad, you know. Like if you get a loss, you're always kind of looking back, and there's like a bittersweet feeling to it. You know, it's one of the best fights people have ever seen, but at the back of your mind, you got that loss, so you're sickened at the same time. But being a part of something like that, like, it's win-win, because when you come out of the fight, people enjoyed it that much that it almost seems like it's just positive.
Do your buddies ever tell you that they bet on you in a fight, and does that bother you when they say that?
Yeah, I hear it quite regular. It's not. I just leave it to them. You know, I don't really want to know, because obviously if you go out there and you do lose, then you're costing them money. But you know, that's up to them. It's their money. They can do what they want with it.
Do you get your cut?
I didn't get a cut yet.
No,
Not one cut yet.
Not one yet. But
not even Shake Shack.
Somebody's just got to walk up to him and go, "Hey, here's a beer." I mean, I'm not a big better, but your cut's a beer. You'd take that, right?
Well, I've been off the beer now for over a year, so you know, I'll take something. I'll take a wee cut.
You're off alcohol or just beer?
No alcohol. Yeah.
Altogether.
Yeah, that's it. It's I'm a disaster, to be honest, when I'm on the beer. So.
Are you an asshole or just a fun disaster?
No, I'm not an asshole. I'm just a disaster. Like I'll be out and in Canada, like they wouldn't drink like we would drink back home in Ireland. You know, like if we're drinking, we're drinking to get drunk, and I don't know, like it's just a different way of drinking. I was drinking, and I remember the one morning I woke up in a metro station. I was like, I think I need to knock this on the head. Like it was
wow.
Like I never even heard of blackout until I went to Canada. That was just drunk for us, you know.
Have you blacked out a lot in your life?
Yeah, I was just telling this story. I don't remember to who, but
Were you blacked out?
my point was that I'm not an asshole when I get drunk. All I do is black out. But I'm not like, get your hands off me or anything like that. Nor do I also... The only thing I do is still kind of get close to that line where you could be offensive, just, you know, but you try and be more clever than anything. And I was just telling a buddy or somebody about buddies that I have that kind of do cross the line a little bit, you know. And I never want to be that guy. But what I've noticed is the times I pass out, to answer your question, was at the Encore. And you worked there, right?
Oh, I've heard of this.
And at the Wynn, they have a club called Encore, if they still have it. And all I know is I went with a bunch of buddies. We were drinking vodka. I don't think I ate much of a dinner. I think that was the key. And I think all I know is we went. I had my two buddies' wives, because it was a guys and girls group. So we went and we danced. And when we got there, it was so packed that the girls were getting their feet stepped on, you know. And so they weren't having fun. I go, all right. And what sucked is you fight to get out there, like, excuse me, pardon me, until you get out there. And then by the time you get out there, the song you heard that brought you there is no longer playing. So you're there and you're figuring, well, let's just stay here. And it was just too much. I start sweating like a pig. And so it was just too uncomfortable. So we go back. And then after that, I shut down. I don't know what happened. All I know is I wake up. And Encore police, there's like about 6 of them around me, and they're walking me through the Wynn, you know, and so I'm walking like a zombie, and they're kind of like holding me, but not aggressively, so that's why I know I wasn't like, get off me or nothing like that. And then all of a sudden I wake up, and they go, sir, can you call somebody? And then I looked, and I go, what? And they go, can you call a friend? And I go, and then I remembered my buddy's name, and I go, yeah, and I go, here, because they had my phone, they were looking. I don't know what I was telling them, you know, Superman or I don't know. I don't know if I was telling them just names that they couldn't find because they had my phone and I go call. I think I said Gabe. Call Gabe Jimenez, you know. And so they called him and sure enough, my friends were looking for me. So it was embarrassing in that regard, but I can tell this story and we can all laugh. But I didn't wake up in Metro. I wasn't bruised or anything like that, so I didn't get my ass kicked. And I think I hit that wall, and I think what I wanted to do was probably get fresh air. And next thing you know, you can't be sleeping in these establishments, these casinos. They will kick you out. So that's what happened. And hopefully along the way, I was just not a jerk. And so yeah.
You black out, Dan Tom?
I'll share one story. I got a couple, but I'll share one that's kind of apropos, just so Joe doesn't feel as bad, and mine involves a kind of an Irishman, because the worst part is not knowing what you did, right? That blackout period. And mine was I was traveling through Europe back in 2009, and this is when I was going through France, and I was in this hostel. And in the hostel, it was like there was like a bunch of bunks, like they were like triple bunks. It wasn't just double bunks; it was triple. And you're sharing room for people that never traveled in a hostel. And I guess I was so drunk, and we were out partying, and I met a girl, and I was thinking I was just back in America or back home, where you just meet a girl, you go back to your place, but it wasn't my place. I must have forgot that I was sharing this. Well, you guys can see where it's going. Anyways, I'll fast forward through the details. I start kind of coming to, and I'm stumbling back into the room. I think I might have tried to be a gentleman and walk somebody out. I'm coming back into the room, and I have no idea what's going on. I'm kind of just coming to. And it's at that point that George was just saying, where you just coming to, like, what's going on? Oh, crap. And you're kind of that shock comes over you, and I step in. And I think this guy's, I don't know, a friend I met, because I was staying there. Nice guy from Northern Ireland, but first thing I walk in, I'm like, what the hell did I do? I walk back into my little dorm room that I was staying, and the guy from Northern Ireland just looking at me, and he gives me a nod. One of those kind of, for people that are just listening to this audio, like picture Jack Nicholson giving that creepy head nod, that gif. Like, he's just giving me one of those, like, yeah. And immediately, just by that smile, I knew exactly what I did. And exactly, it all started coming back to me, just triggered by one smile, and it starts coming back in a flashback. So that's always the...
Well, what'd you do? Do you know?
Yeah, I just probably debaucherous gentleman, and except, probably embarrassed myself, because it wasn't a private setting, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't look into it any further than that. I just laughed it off as reading the look on the face of my temporary roommate there, and had a good laugh about it. But there's my embarrassing story.
You guys?
I blacked out twice, but one was just for a little period. Another time, I got in a fist fight with a dwarf porno star.
What?
Oh, wow.
At the Rio.
What?
Yeah, ask Alton about it. I can't tell the story because I don't really remember too much about it, but he tells it pretty good.
Like Peter and the Giant Chicken, you got in a fight with a dwarf?
Yeah.
Did you win the fight?
Well, it was a female.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I didn't fight back, but she swung.
Oh,
at me.
she swung at you.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was at
I'm not gonna. I mean, the show is not gonna wait for Alton to tell the story. You need to tell the story.
all I remember Jeremy Goki, rest in peace.
Yes.
He was there, and I just remember they dared me. She was on the dance floor. It's a real popular one.
The Rio? Club Rio?
No, the porn star.
Oh.
She was on the dance floor, and they go, "Hey, go dance." That one. Have you ever seen her?
But you had that up quick.
Bridget the midget?
Oh yeah, perhaps. And so they go, "Hey, go dance with her." And I was double fisting Corona.
You were what?
There. And there was a lot of people there, and I don't really remember much, but I just remember she took a swing at me, and I don't think I did anything. I think it might have been somebody else. But then just all this stuff broke out on the dance floor. We all got kicked out.
Oh wow! Did she have porn star backup? And
yeah.
So did your boys? Were they fighting as well, or?
No. She swung at me, but the fight was amongst other people. So I don't think I really did anything. I just remember when I was getting kicked out.
Did you get clocked?
No, I don't think
so.
Okay. Earlier that earlier that night, that's the night where we got kicked by the hillbilly chick. Remember, there's a video on YouTube
where she runs and kicks you guys.
Well, she's supposed to kick in the chest, but she couldn't kick high, and she kicked him right square in the nuts, and then she socked me.
So two ladies came at you in one night?
Yeah.
Wow.
My goodness.
It's on YouTube too.
The whole fight?
The punch and the kick.
I've seen the kick. I don't think I've seen the punch.
I can find it.
All right. Well, circling back, what happened with you winding up in Metro?
Oh, nothing. I just got out of there quick.
No.
No, I mean, but were you like, get out of here? They kicked you out, or did they say, sir, we need to take you in because you fell asleep?
No,
peacefully.
Nothing. I was just sleeping there, and when I woke up, I was like, Christ, I need to get an Uber out of here.
Were you behind the bars or just in the waiting area?
No, it was in the waiting area there.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And
that was just that. After that, you said, "I'm shutting down alcohol altogether."
There was a couple of more drinking sessions after that, but not long after. I was like, I said, it was a night I went out for. We're doing like we're helping out in this night for what was it for? Was it dementia or something, or some along them lines? Me, Joanne Calderwood, and Zach
Lukovsky.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Fun
great cracker.
size.
Yeah, exactly. He's good crack sack. So we're all out the night, and we're being auctioned off like a session with us, to go towards a charity or whether. And
Fighting session?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So just whoever won, we'd take them a session on the pads or whatever, and the money would go towards a charity. So yeah, we're out that night, and then at night then I lost my phone, and it was just another night, another blackout. So that was it. I thought it's time to knock this on the head.
Do you think that's it? You think you will no longer drink ever again, or is this kind of like a break?
No, I don't miss
The
it.
St. Patrick's Day's coming up.
Yeah, I know.
It sounds like you're going to be in town. So
in Vegas, no.
we're going to be at the Re-Raw probably on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to the Rehab as well because the match is on. I think it's on like 6:30 in the morning. So
Oh, the rugby?
yeah,
Mm.
so I'm gonna Rehab the only place.
That
I
should
find.
be about the time we're stumbling out.
I
But
know that place that I showed you earlier. They show it too.
Oh yeah, they're showing as
Yeah.
well. Oh,
What time
that's
is it
good.
at?
I think it's like 6:30 in the morning.
6:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure.
I'm down. You want to do that?
Sure, but Joseph Duffy gonna
Nah,
have a couple?
Nah,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
off
not
it.
gonna wake up that early to watch it?
Yeah. I've been waiting.
Oh, you're trying to talk them into drinking?
Yeah.
Oh.
St. Patty's Day.
Dude, at 6:30 a.m.
Huh?
At 6:30
Well,
a.m.
A, he's not in a fight camp. B, he's in Sin City. C, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
You know where the angel
I'm not
pops up on
feeling
one
too
shoulder
bad.
and the devil pops on the other? These guys are just on both the shoulders of the
Yeah,
devil
exactly.
right now.
Yeah,
They're gonna
Had it not been St.
I
Patrick's
watch
Day,
those,
I would have just said, all right, we'll meet at 6:30 to watch rugby. But
Right.
it's St. Patrick's. That's where you tie it all in. You know what I mean?
I
Just give it some thought. We'll ask you at the end of the show, and you can give your final decision.
I will second him on something. Tell me this. Is it kind of addicting after you stay out for a while? Because I'm not. I don't even compete or an athlete like you are, where you get that bonus. But I think psychologically, like for example, I had a surgery, and I've been able to drink for like 2 or 3 months, and then I think last weekend I had my first drink in 2018, and as nice as it felt, I was kind of like I kind of like going on this nice streak. It felt nice for your body. You feel better. Is there any of that to it? Is it addicting to?
Yeah, 100%. Like I feel good for not drinking, and I don't know. Like once I've been off it for a while, I don't really miss it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know the feeling when you wake up the next day and you're like, Christ, what was that last night? I don't miss that feeling.
Yeah. I hear what you guys are saying, especially when I just stick to drinking water. Even
Yeah,
like
when you
seriously,
do,
the
yeah.
coffees and the Pepsis or whatever. Even that can take you down. But a good buzz is fun too. It's just making sure you don't black out, making sure you're not in a training camp or you're not breaking rules or laws. A good buzz with buddies, man, is a good time for me, or just with Jules, or even at home hanging out. I'm down with that. So it's like anything else. You just can't abuse it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. But anyone that stops, I'm all for it. Especially anyone that's ever had like real troubles, then that's it. That's why I'm asking Joseph, because if he's one of those that struggled with it, and he feels like he's battling either alcoholism or anything else, then I would never push you like that. But it sounds like almost like you just pulled back, and it's great, but you're just waiting for the right time for someone to go, let's do it again, and you're in, So that's my style, I tell people, let's do it, let's hang out, and let's do something like that. Especially it coincides with St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I got
You trying to show me something or what?
Oh, I showed him the girl that punched me.
Oh, okay.
Want to see?
Yeah. Oh, this is the punch?
Yeah.
I heard Alton.
There's the punch. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay.
It was stronger than it looked.
Really?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
Should I ring
Erica.
my bell?
It wasn't like what Erica did to me.
No.
Well, hers
probably
was
not.
open hand, but
You
man,
got
I
slapped by
think
one of our listeners.
I got
Really
the
hard.
actual palm.
Like Boss Rutan style?
It was a good one, dude, and I like to play things up for the show anyway. I didn't have to play this one up. Like, she just hit the button or something, and so I wasn't out. I wasn't seeing stars, but all I know is it kind of gave me like a headache for about a couple hours. Like I was like, do I need to adjust my neck or what? But I just remember going, wow, that was a good shot. But we froze it, and a slap is like, here we go, slap, right? And if you watch the Instagram video, she actually goes back, and the hand is actually out of the frame. and then she comes and then does all that stuff. I mean, it was a really proper slap. And she's you know, strong girl. So I just want to make sure I don't lose street cred. That's why I'm telling you all exactly what behind it all. You know, it was a good slap.
I got dropped by a girl once, but it was a spin sidekick, and I was still growing. No, she was really good, but yeah, I'll take my marks.
Inside the training
back in the
walls?
karate days, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
By the way, shout out to Cheyenne Velismus.
Oh yeah,
from
she's
Extreme
awesome.
Couture, who was a recent guest
Great.
of ours, and she went out there and got a win at LFA this past Friday. So she's now 1-0 as a professional. We called her fights at Tough Enough when she was an amateur, and like I say, I've been rehabbing the knee, so I've seen her put some really good work in with her coach Ray Sefo, and they actually pulled it off. She was really, really vicious in her finish at LFA. Speaking of LFA, Nick Newell also got a win, and we'll talk a little bit more about that on our daily debate when we come back. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk to UFC heavyweight Curtis Blaydes. So stay close. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. I think I just said that. Joseph Duffy in the house.
They are the stretch marks on the underbelly of the MMA community. But hey, stretch marks are the new tats. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
The Jim Rome Show is now on SiriusXM weekdays at noon Eastern. Catch The Jungle and the rest of the CBS Sports Network on Channel 201 and the SiriusXM app. You like that song, Joseph?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah? All right. We aren't so sure that it, I mean, I'm sure it's the most mainstream, but sometimes the mainstream isn't what somebody wants to hear, you know?
Yeah.
It could be that you've heard this a million times and you're like, oh, fuck, pick another one.
Nah, like shipping up to Boston, like you hear all the time, but
just trying to make you feel at home.
It's all good.
Americans are
would you like
assholes
would you like us to put Irish whiskey in that coffee or
No.
No, all right, I'll stop pushing the alcohol. Isn't he one of the nicest guys like we've
Yes.
ever met as far as fighters?
You know what Americans are really bad at?
Is there?
Doing accents of other countries. That's where I
I'm
think other
terrible
countries
at
go,
it.
oh, these guys are such assholes.
I'm terrible
We're
at
really
it.
bad at it.
We'll practice that in just a bit. Right now we're going to talk to our other guest on the show. His name is Curtis Blaydes. He will be fighting Alistair Overeem on June 9th at UFC 225. Also, if you all recall, after his last fight when he defeated Mark Hunt, we all knew he was entering the free agency phase of his career, and the fact that he's already taken a fight booking means he re-signed with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and it probably went pretty smooth. Right? There's been other guys that like Cub Swanson. We brought his name up earlier. He's been a free agent since December. We don't even know what's going to happen with his career. But this guy's signed, ready to go, and fighting in his hometown of Chicago, Illinois. He joins us now on the hotline. What's up, Curtis? How you doing?
How you guys doing? I appreciate you guys having me on your show.
Yeah, man. We happy to have you back. Congratulations on that win a few months ago, and it looks like free agency went smooth. You're back with the UFC. You already have a fight booking. It's a great fight. It's in your hometown.
Yeah, happy to get on this Chicago card. It's been a while since I've been able to fight in front of a real home crowd, you know.
Mm-hmm. And did it go smooth, Curtis, or behind the scenes was it a little bit rougher than I'm making it out to be as far as you re-signing?
No. It was very smooth. It wasn't any hassle in any process. It was just getting the paperwork and getting it.
You wrote down a number and they said, "Hey, we can pay you that." Simple as that.
I didn't handle any of the negotiations. My manager did, but yeah, that's what it sounds like. It was pretty easy.
Wow. All right. I often wonder if fighters, when that happens, wish they would have wrote down a bigger number when it all goes so smooth.
Who doesn't, right?
You know, but I don't know. You tell me, are you a money-driven fighter or are you more about a legacy, world titles?
I'm not going to be dishonest and tell you I'm not doing this for money because I am. You don't do anything you're good at without getting compensation.
Right.
But I do want to build a legacy. But if I could only have one or the other, obviously I would take the money.
Mm-hmm. Curtis,
I'm hoping to have both of them.
Right, and you're headed that way. That's for sure. I mean, that was a huge win for you out in Perth, Australia, that you had versus Mark Hunt, which takes you now to 9-1 overall. And in the UFC, I mean, you got 4 solid wins. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, you're off and running is all I can say. Was there a second criteria that you wanted the UFC to meet other than just the dollar signs?
No, I don't make demands of my employers. The only thing I remotely came close to demanding was being on the Chicago card, and that was more of a request, and they made it happen. So I'm happy. I have zero complaints.
Mm-hmm. I imagine, have they told you yet? We're hearing Whitaker will defend versus Yoel Romero on that card. Do you are you slotted for the co-main event? Do you know where you will be on the card?
I don't have an official slot, but based upon the matchups I've seen, it only makes sense you have the number 2 and number 5 heavyweight, especially since one of those heavyweights is a Chicago native in the co-main event.
Right.
It makes sense. But if not, if they put me on the prelims, I don't care. I I just wanted to be in Chicago. So it doesn't matter where I am in the lineup.
Man, this guy's a model employee. I would care. I would hope you fight for that main card, man. You need to be on the main card because you deserve it. You see what I'm saying? You have already established yourself as one of the top heavyweights, and you'll be fighting a guy that could put you further ahead, make you a rank contender, maybe even fight for a belt. But I'm sure you will be on that main card, so there's no sense in talking about it.
Yeah.
Again, sorry. Yeah, Curtis Blaydes, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio, 9-1 overall. And he's coming off a win over Mark Hunt in Perth, Australia at UFC 221. Goes, what do you have for Curtis Blaydes?
Curtis, when you evaluate Alistair Overeem's attack, is preparation for him going to be that much different than preparation for, say, Mark Hunt? Do things really need to be flipped around too much?
I mean, he does go, he likes to switch his stances a lot, so that's a little difference, but not really. Overall, they're both strikers. Neither one of them wants to go to the ground. Alistair's a little bit more adept on the ground, but he doesn't want to be there either. So the game plan is the same. Use my boxing and get inside for a clean takedown and do what I have to do on the ground.
2018, you got to fight in pretty early, and now you already have this one lined up. How do you feel after this fight the rest of 2018 will shape up? How many more would you have this year if it were up to you?
Just one more. I like having pretty long camps. I like doing 12-week camps. So I would hope to only get in once more this year, in this calendar year. Yeah.
Hey, Curtis, I got a question about the wrestling game that you were kind of just touching on there. When I initially came across you on Tape Study, it was before your Ngannou fight, and I was really impressed going back, at least what there was of your collegiate wrestling footage and how aggressive you were. And as you kind of progress your career in the MMA, it seems like you're getting more adept as far as finding your home and your entries and getting that game going. Is that true? Is every fight, are you feeling more and more comfortable with getting to your roots and kind of just building your game around that?
Of course, the more time I accumulate in the cage, the better my fight IQ is, the easier it is for me to pick up on openings and like, it just, the more I'm in there, the less, like, the nerves go away. And when the nerves go away, I'm able to, like, calmly look at the situation and take what's there. If it's not there, don't force it. But the takedowns usually appear pretty organically, like either in a combo or just when we're doing movement, just like walking around the cage. A lot of heavyweights, they tend to, their footwork gets sloppy as the round goes on, and I try to keep mine as clean as I can, and that's really what opens up the takedowns. Just good fundamentals. I don't think I'm doing anything like terribly fancy. I'm just sticking to my basics and looking for little mistakes.
Curtis Blaydes, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. He will be fighting Alistair Overeem at UFC 225 on June 9th. Curtis is 9-1 overall. He is 4-1 in the UFC. How about this? The noted wrestler has 7 KOs. So that's awesome. That's awesome that he's able to adapt to striking so quickly. There's been a lot of wrestlers that have come over, and it's been a slower ride for him. All right, Curtis, so I want to ask you, going back to the fight with Ngannou and Miocic, were you rooting for Ngannou because you'd love to meet that guy again, or were you rooting for Miocic because he seems to be such a great heavyweight, you'd like to be the one to eventually take him out?
I mean, I was rooting for Miocic just because, as a fight fan, I like his style. He's a smart fighter. You got the hands, you got the kickboxing, you got the wrestling. I'm sure he has the jiu-jitsu also, and he's got the cardio. So there's not a whole lot to dislike about his fighting style, and it was just the smart bet. I knew he would win because I knew he'd go out there and smart fight, get the takedowns that he did get, and the ground and pound that he did do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have done, and I knew that's what he was going to do.
When you're training, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. No, you're good.
When you're training for all of these opponents, are you also training for the champion, or do you just stick to the task at hand?
I kind of have blinders on. I take it one part of it. When I was preparing for Mark Hunt, I wasn't preparing for anyone else. The same as my previous opponent, Alexei Olenek, and every other opponent. I respect everyone wholeheartedly, and I give them the respect during my preparation as well. I focus entirely on them, and I do my best to not look past anyone.
Do you feel like you have the skill set to eventually be a world champion? And I guess that means measuring your skill set versus Miocic. And if not, do you feel like you're closing the gap slowly but surely?
Of course, I feel like every day I'm getting 1% better, and that gap is not as big as a lot of people might assume. His hands are still better than mine. Obviously, he's been doing it for longer than me, but I think the wrestling and just like the physical gifts I possess, I think they make that gap a lot tighter than what you would originally think.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you're a big cat, man. You know, like you'll the day if and when you guys were to ever mix it up, there's going to be about at least 20, 30 pounds difference.
Yeah, I'm usually not that last fighting at home. I'm usually the heavier guy.
How much do you usually cut to make 265?
I don't cut. I walk around at like 270, and then once I get into like the later stages of my camp, the weight just falls off. I usually get to weigh-ins at like 255.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Okay. And lastly, you are going to be fighting in Chicago. I imagine they'll want to put you out there and help promote the card and everything. But do you like the pressure of fighting at home? Because you probably have a lot of, like, relatives come out of the woodwork, friends come out of the woodwork, people wanting to know about tickets, pre- and post-fight parties, things like that. Are you embracing that, or is that going to be stressful times for you?
There is no pressure. This is a UFC fight. It doesn't matter if I'm in Chicago or Alaska. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to use my hands to get inside and take him down and ground and pound. I would do that anywhere. So the crowd being on my side or against me doesn't matter. I didn't have the crowd with me in Australia, and I executed my game plan. So that just goes to show I'll do it in any event. Am I happy to be in Chicago and going in one of my friends and family? Of course, because it doesn't happen that often. But again, I would do this anywhere in the world because I'm getting paid to do it, and I'm a professional. So I'm going to do my job regardless of who's watching.
Can't wait to see it. UFC 225, Curtis Blaydes will face Alistair Overeem in a heavyweight bout there. And I'm sure we'll be on the main card. I have no doubts about that. Curtis, congrats on getting through free agency and getting the money you were looking for. It seems like you're very content and happy, and now you have an awesome matchup to take you towards making a run at the title. So thank you again for some time here on MMA Junkie Radio. It's been great catching up with you.
No problem. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
All right, take care. We'll see you. All right, folks, that is Curtis Blaydes. Big shout-out to Richie Guerrero for lining that one up. We're going to take one more break here, and then we'll come back and we'll start talking a little bit more to Joseph Duffy about what his future holds. Who does he want to fight next? Who has he fought in the past that he might want to fight next? I don't know. You know me. I'm going to be poking over here and see what we can get out of the fine Irishman. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. Stay close, and we'll be right back.
Hey, idiot! Yeah, you! Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
Start your day with SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device, and then tell Alexa to set an alarm for your favorite channel, and you'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. Apologies, it's Rick Guerrero, not Richie Guerrero. Richie Guerrero is our contact at American Top Team.
Yeah, that's how I thought. That's why I gave you that look. Okay.
Yeah, it's Rick Guerrero. I'm sure he's been called Richie before, but we met as Rick Guerrero, so he's Rick Guerrero. So again, thank you to him for facilitating the Curtis Blaydes interview. We'll also have Mike Swick later on the show. He'll be calling in from San Jose. He's not in Phuket, Thailand now. He's usually in Phuket, Thailand, and he's actually back stateside. So that should be a fun chat with him. It's always a great chat with him. He's got lots going on. He's got the AKA Thailand gym, which is beautiful. You guys have seen it, I'm sure, right? On Twitter.
Yeah,
what they've done with it. Wow. Yeah. It looks like a paradise in paradise.
Parts of it are open.
He's promoted fights out there. He now has a podcast real quick with Mike Swick, so we'll catch up with him, see how he's doing. Right now, it's street fight story time with our guest here, Joseph Duffy, UFC lightweight, who, when I asked if he had one, he did not balk one bit. It seems like there's quite a few, but he's going to tell us one right now in particular that he's excited to tell us about. Which one is it?
I don't know. There's been a few. Like I don't really get into too much trouble, but where I grew up in Wales, like we're always in the paper, you know, like with the martial arts, we're always in the paper. And I remember the first night I ever went out. I went out with a few of the lads from training. I was only like...
Time out. What are you always in the paper for?
For martial arts.
Oh, okay. Not for getting in trouble.
No.
Okay. All right.
But there was just... Like, I was only 14 or 15.
All right. Young Joseph Duffy.
So we're having a few beers, and
you can drink that young over there legally, or is this?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Boys will be boys, right?
They weren't asking, so I wasn't telling.
Right.
That was it. So it was the end of the night. Anyway, we're heading home, and this lad came out. He was a good bit older. I found out he was like 28, I think he was. But one of the boys was talking to him, and he came at me then, and he had me by the scruff of the neck, and he was pushing me, and I was kind of...
Oh, like Cody Garbrandt? He just got you by the neck?
He had me by the throat, and I was hanging over like this bridge.
What?
Yeah, it was... But he was...
Your feet were dangling?
No, not quite. Like, he was just pushing me right back.
Okay.
So, I just hit him with a jab, and I was training for, like a kickboxing fight at the time, so I was doing a hell of a lot of kickboxing, not much grappling, and hit him with a jab, and he went flying, stumbled over the curb, and... his face was all busted. He got up, he came again. I hit him with another jab, and the bouncer came out. Then the bouncer seen it all. So he called me in, and we went back in the pub just out of the way, and he took off. But yeah, that was pretty much my first night out ever.
You have a powerful jab. He's got you by the neck, and so it's not like you can even lean into it or anything. And boop, boop, you just got him twice.
Yeah, well, I got him the once, and then he went down, and then he got back up, and then I hit him with another one.
But still a powerful jab.
I don't know, like, it's different, like people who's not trained to take shots
Yeah.
I remember watching one. We're out for our Christmas do actually, and there was a big lad, and he was causing a bit of trouble, and the boy who was causing trouble on who trained with us, he was only a small lad but very strong, and he was a good hitter, so we got him away anyway. We carried on, but later on the night we seen him start trouble with another 3 boys, and he threw the worst shot I ever seen in my life, and he hit this lad, and this lad just fell over. But it was terrible. Like, I remember watching it and thinking, like, people who don't train, like, they just can't take a shot, Like, it was the worst punch you could ever see in your life. But the guy still just flat out,
Wow.
It's different.
So you beat up a guy twice your age.
Yeah, pretty much.
You were 14, he was 28, right?
Yeah.
That's a good story. I like that one. And you never got in trouble or nothing?
No.
I mean, if anything, you're self-defense, right?
Yeah, that's all it was.
I wonder why he just came at you. Did you ever hear a story like he's an asshole or
no,
he beats up on kids?
He was I don't know whether he was on drugs or what he was. Like, there was a group of us. There was a girl there, so I don't know exactly what happened. But that's the way it is.
That was a good
watch
story.
out for that jab.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about the mean streets of Wales, man? Lots of stuff goes down there. Brett Johns had a good story with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did you live there?
I lived there most of my life. I was brought up there. I moved to Wales when I was 9 months, and then we went back when I was between I was 3 and 4. I remember I had my 4th birthday there, but we spent every holiday over in Ireland. So but most of my life I was in Wales, all the way through martial arts. I was training in Wales, and then I moved to London.
Have you guys ever heard of a piñata in Wales or Ireland for little kids' birthdays?
You heard of it, but it's kind of from like programs and that. Like, you wouldn't see someone. Well, I never seen one.
It's a great invention, right? The Mexicans brought that one. I like it.
We were just talking about it this morning.
Piñatas?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about more when we come back. It's the top of the hour. We still got 1 hour to go. Again, Mike Swick will join us halfway through in the second hour. Right now, we're hanging out with Joseph Duffy, UFC lightweight, trying to figure out what his next fight will be. We'll really get at it right now when we come back. who this is, Joseph Duffy? Metallica. Even I know that one. And I'm not a music guy.
I'm the world's worst, to be honest. Unless I got shit
I
down.
thought I was, but you're right, it's you. But I'm second worst.
You're right, it's you.
I'm second worst. I can't believe you didn't know that. I thought you were going to look at me like...
Well, how about this? You've heard it before.
Oh,
right?
I've heard it a million times.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you get a pass there.
That's
but
a little better.
Yeah.
That's
what Brock Lesnar used to walk out to. Do you know who Brock Lesnar is?
I know.
Oh, okay,
I know Brock
okay.
Lesnar.
Just checking now. I mean, he fell in love. You know, maybe it could be that they're just, you know, they don't watch TV. A lot of fighters have turned off the TV, the cable, the satellite. They just Netflix it. Have you?
Yeah, I love Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have cable or satellite?
No, I had it for a little bit, but I wasn't watching it. And up in Montreal as well, a lot of it was French, you know, so I couldn't understand the half it. So
What do you watch on Netflix?
Netflix, Christ, I near have it complete at this stage. Like I love all the documentaries. I was watching, obviously the Icarus documentary. Was it Dirty Money as well? That was good.
That one.
I haven't seen it.
No.
I watched like loads of series.
Narcos?
Bates Motel, Narcos, like a lot of the Marvel stuff as well. Luke Cage, Punisher,
Saw that one. Yeah.
Jessica Jones.
See, now you
obviously-
look like a dork because you don't know what he's talking about, right?
I don't. And I admit it. I'm a dork when
I
it
like
comes to...
Daredevil one.
Yeah,
I think
it
you
was
would like
good.
I've missed a lot of
Daredevil
movies.
was good.
Today I'm going to go see a movie at Regal.
Black Panther.
Something to do with the game. Something about it's a house murderer, and it actually... The guess. I don't know. Well, why am I talking about it? I don't even know.
Okay, I know which one.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I wanted to find the one with Liam Neeson, where he's the transporter. No, he's the commuter, and I guess it tanked. It's not. It's already out of the movies.
Where he's on a train?
He's on a train. It was only in East Las Vegas at some theater I had never heard of, and I thought, nah, I'll just wait for it to show up on satellite or Vudu or whatever we have. But I found that other one, and it seemed interesting, so I'm gonna go watch that. And then today I have my 6-week update on my knee, so hopefully the doctor says you're good, you know, because they've been holding on to some of my money, and I'll get a little bit of a refund, so that'll be nice.
You get a refund if you do better?
No, in other words, I'll just tell you. Look, I gave them $500, and it was for the initial consultation, and but the follow-ups come with the price of the surgery. Because remember, I was a cash patient, and so every time I've gone for a follow-up, he's just checking the knee. It's quick, boom, boom. You were there once, right?
Yeah.
How you feeling? Let's look at it. No infections, get out. But I was told by their accounting team that the extra $250 they held on to will be refunded to me, you know, unless there was any complications, which there haven't been. So I'm hoping if today he goes, hey, you're good, man. I don't need to see you for 3 months or 6 months. Then that's when I'll go to accounting and go, yo, what, you know, about that $250, hand it back, you know, because I think I've gotten past that. We're about 6 months now out of my surgery, so I'm hoping that you know I get good news today. I'm anticipating it. Today, oh, you want to hear a funny story? Today I had therapy at 7, and I went to bed at 2:30 a.m. I woke up at 6:30. The alarms didn't go off. They were supposed to go off at 5:45 and 6. I slept right through them.
You can't wake up unless the alarm wakes you up?
Well, today the alarm was on, and I still couldn't wake up. So I went to bed late. I had a long walk with the dog yesterday. I was just tired. So today I woke up. Oh, man, I took a quick shower and went and had a cup of coffee, no breakfast, and she was giving me a hard workout today. So then she says, get in the plank position, and she puts these 2 frisbees where my feet are. And with those frisbees, I'm supposed to do kind of like, I'm going to do with my hand, kind of like wash on and wash off, you know, like that, but with my feet. So I'm holding the plank position, and my legs are moving like one at a time. And so it's balance exercise, stability exercise. I tore my my patellar tendon 6 months ago. But with the plank and some other exercise, I was sweating, dude. But what was worse was all of a sudden my stomach was going.
Oh, no.
My stomach was going, yo, that Mexican food last night, we're about to make a ruckus here, you know? So we finished one exercise, and I go, man, go to the restroom. She goes, yeah. And I went, and I couldn't pee, and I wanted to let out a bunch of gas just to relieve the stomach, and it wasn't happening. So I was actually standing in the bathroom like an idiot doing nothing. So I wash the hands, and I come out, and I go, fuck, this thing isn't going to go good. Can I power through it? Because we had already done about 90%. All that's left is that exercise, and then bending the knee and seeing where we at. And then she says, you're at 135 degrees. And I wanted to do this because today I have the appointment with the doctor, and they communicate. So I wanted the doctor to see the good news.
Were you jiffy popping?
Oh, dude. So I went through that phase where it went away, right? So I took a drink of water, breathing through my nose. I go, let me just get through these exercises. I'm down there doing the plank, and as I'm doing it and my legs are moving, I don't know what it was about the leg and the hip just moved.
Oh, no.
And I think it just the stomach. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it does to the stomach. And I sat there, dude, and I'm telling you, like I thought I was gonna let one out, and it would have killed them all because there's four. There's two in the front office.
Should have.
They're doing accounting and things like
She's
that,
right
answering
there,
phones.
though, right? Isn't she?
She's
like
close by, and then there's
that's
another one. But that's it. It's just me, right? And if that place starts to stink, who are they gonna look at? They're gonna look at each other. 4 women aren't gonna look at each other. They're gonna look at me, and it was gonna be awful. Because I'm telling you, it was gonna be explosive, and so I sat there, and I had to just tuck my tail between my legs, and I told her, I go, Janelle, my stomach's really not good. I'll be back to finish my exercises this afternoon. And she goes, okay. But she looked at me like, are you all right? And I go, yeah, I'm all right, And granted, I wanted to actually just go in the bathroom and just destroy it. But I knew that there just wasn't going to be, it was going to be awful, So as I'm driving down Durango, I'm thinking I'm going to pull into Starbucks or something. And it just kind of went away until I got home and I was able to just, use the restroom. But man, oh dude, it was bad, man.
Do you know that feeling where it's really bad and then it goes away for a little bit, but you're pretty normal, right? But then it comes back.
I went through that.
That
in between exercises.
Me one time.
Did it?
The time I shit my pants at Fantastic Sam. That's what I was counting on, was that break.
That break
to get from the barber chair to where they wash your hair.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, usually it's good for about a minute. This one was like 4 seconds. I got up and I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then I went and I got caught and I had to stand there and basically shit my pants.
Yeah, dude.
During your haircut?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a log came out, or just a little bit of like dribble?
Splatter.
Oh.
That was the world's.
Why do you hang on to these stories? You've never told us this one. He's fighting porn dwarfs and shitting his pants while getting a haircut. Yeah, I mean, we're in this one.
Because I don't want to take away time from him.
You think Joseph Duffy cares? He's laughing his ass off.
Fantastic Sam's is?
No.
Okay, it's like a place where they cut your hair, right? And I went next to Round Table, right? Everybody there does not speak English.
In Santa Ana. Okay.
So I go in there, and it was the first. I remember because it was the first time I had ever had sushi. And probably what I'm thinking, the reason I didn't tell him the story, because it has to do with your car. But I was in I was in his car.
The Acura Integra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and, the Integra.
So I go in.
That wouldn't be the worst thing he ever did, by the way, to my car.
Wait, what?
He tried to wax it once with Armor All or something.
Oh, God.
All of a sudden, my car's just flaking, like at the top. It's never had this problem. And he ruined the paint job.
I did not ruin it. Okay. So anyways, I go to get a haircut, and as I'm sitting there, it's pretty much the same haircut you see today. And so first, what they normally do is they cut the sides, they shave it, and then from there they say, we're going to take you over to wash your hair because I have a lot of gel in my hair, and then you go back. Well, as she's doing it, I feel my stomach start to gurgle. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. But I thought I could power through. As she's going through, it's starting to get really bad, and now I'm like where you have to squeeze your butt cheeks. So I'm waiting for that little break, and I'm hoping maybe I can get out of this somehow. And so anyways, she finishes and she goes, okay, now let's go wash your hair. And I knew if I stood up, I'd shit my pants. So I told her, can you just raise it up a little bit, And my mom did not like that. She liked it to be very low. So I already knew I was going to get in trouble. So she goes, she raises it, and I thought that was going to buy me like another 5 minutes maybe. She did it in about 5 minutes, and it did not go away. If anything, it was getting worse. So I go, hey, probably not going to like this, but I'm just going for a different look. Can you just raise it a little bit more? So she kind of gave me like a... So she raised it, she's doing it, and it's actually getting even more worse. So now she gets it to where...
At some point, are you looking like Chuck Liddell? Just like
I was probably, if I told her to do it again, it'd probably be Mr. T at that point. So now I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So she goes, okay, you're good. And she goes, let's go. She already started walking, so she didn't even give me the opportunity to say it one more time. So she starts walking, and I think, all right, I have that little break where I think I can get from the chair to the other chair to wash my hair. So I get up. And I start walking fast, and it just hit me all at once. I had to stop. And back then, we didn't have cell phones. So what I did was I pulled out my beeper, and I pulled it out, and I just went, oh, God. And I was just standing in the middle, and I'm thinking, just give me like 2 seconds to just run to the chair. and it would not go away. It would not go away.
What did the beeper do? Why'd you do that?
So I made it look like, you know how you could send messages like in code back in the day with the beeper? So I'm just making it look like I'm reading it, and she's just waiting. Really, I'm just trying not to shit my pants.
Okay.
So I'm right in the middle of Fantastic Sam, sitting there looking at my beeper, and my legs are starting to convulse a little bit, and I'm doing this. And finally, I knew I couldn't take it anymore, so I grabbed $20 out of my pocket. I had the smock?
Mm-hmm.
I was the world's worst superhero. So what I tried to do was take it off. So I tried to go like this, but what I ended up doing was making it look like a cape, because it went all the way around my neck. I threw $20.
You ran out with a cape?
I started running, and as I was running, I just shit all over myself.
Like a superhero.
So I always say it's the time that I was the world's worst superhero, because according to people that are in the lobby, they're thinking, so then this dude just came running like a superhero.
Did poo dribble out in
all
the
over my
actual
legs.
in the establishment? You didn't even make it outside the door?
I didn't even make it past the front desk.
Oh my god!
I had to go. I didn't want to do this. So then I shit all the way down my legs. And I'm
Every place
out.
has a bathroom though. At some point,
I couldn't get to it, George. I couldn't walk. Trust me. All of these options sound great. I would have loved to have done that, but I couldn't. I couldn't take it.
Okay.
So I think maybe I had food poisoning or something. I don't know. So I shit all the way down my leg. I ran out of the place. I had left the money. Everybody was just kind of like trying to figure out what was going on. I went straight to your car. Luckily, I had the smock still, so that's what I kind of sat on. And I drove home. Then I had to make it past Mom, and Mom had like our Aunt Judy or something was in the living room, and so I went in real quick, and she goes, "It's your Aunt Judy, come say hi." I go, "Nah." I just went.
Did you just go like that from a distance?
I kind of went like that,
Aunt
like,
Judy.
"Hey, I'll be right back." But I mean, there was shit all over me. It was very obvious.
Oh my god!
Then Dad caught me in the hallway because I went straight to the bathroom. He was like, "What the fuck happened to you?" And I had to get in the. Then once I got in the bathroom, I was like, I didn't have anything, so I didn't even have a towel. It was a mess. But
oh my gosh!
Yeah.
That's worse than my Brazil story, I think.
No, it's not worse than your Brazil story.
It's got to be I made it home. Nobody saw it. You guys are only aware of it because I told it. Whereas there's a few ladies and men somewhere in Santa Ana, California going, what about the guy with the cape that shit his
I
pants?
liked cutting my hair there, too. And I could never go back.
Wow. That's brutal, man. Well, I'm telling you, I don't know what happened. I'm glad that I was able to get home and avoid that situation.
Did you ever shit your pants before?
Yeah, I had it after weight cutting once. It's like I said, hard to follow your story, like, but it was. I think it was my second pro fight or something. It was
the Syrian fry fight at Anger Management 18,
exactly.
Holly Brawl.
Yeah,
Rain Man?
What kind of names are they coming up with over there on your side of the pond?
Kieran Fry.
Oh, Kieran Fry. Okay.
Kieran Fry.
The Anger Management 18 Holly Brawl card.
It was a good show back then.
Okay,
It was like one of the best shows early on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was coming back from the weigh-in, and Dad was driving, and I must have drunk the water too quick. That was it. I just sharded. I was like, Christ. And then I got to my car, and I had to get a towel out of the back, and all the way home I was just praying I didn't get stopped by the police or something. I was like, that's all I need now. And you get out of the car. Nah.
Did your dad have a good laugh, or was he pissed?
No, he was laughing away. Like,
yeah.
Thank God.
Wow.
On the windows?
Oh, at the
I like that term translates, I guess. That's a non-regional term. Shart that translates
Shart,
over. You guys use shart as well?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That is
See,
brutal.
that's how mine happened. Was a shard as well, but you know, I forget I was laughing or thinking about something, but
where at?
The Great Wall of China is the one time I shit myself. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, it was my first time there. It was in China. It's like year 2000, and we're with a karate company. We went, and a bunch of some of the jokers were like, "I want to be the first person to do the mantis form in the Great Wall of China. I want to be the first person to do a dragon form." And I'm like, "Oh, these motherfuckers!" And I'm like, "What form am I gonna do?" And I forgot what I was thinking about, and my stomach was like messing with me the whole time. Like I felt the Chester rumbles, as Goes was saying there, the rumbling in the stomach, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And it was a shart, and I didn't make it. I had to run to because I had shorts on. This is gonna run down my pants in no time. So I'm bolting to their little outhouses they have in China. Except they have
just a hole.
It's just a hole, and it's just like an outhouse with a hole, and there's no toilet paper. But what there is brace yourself. There's a trash can for the toilet paper that you bring yourself, so you throw used toilet paper, and there's just a accumulation of other people's waste next to you. And I'm like, crap, there's nothing I can use. And I had a pair of, again, so I bring the name in, Joe boxers, and I was like, okay, well, sorry, Joe. you're gonna have to take one for the team, and then I threw that down the hole, and then cleaned myself up decently enough to get back on the bus.
The rest of the day.
And there was maybe a slight stench that I had to like go. You guys smell that? Who the fuck that is? Like the whole bus.
Put it on someone else.
Because it was like a 4-hour like bus ride back to Beijing where we were staying from to get to the wall. So I'm just sitting there like. It was fucking terrible. Oh gosh,
that is brutal.
Just sitting that guy.
If it was like a situation like yours, I wouldn't mind blowing their bathroom up, because I could just go to another Fantastic Sam's or I don't know. But the fact that I know that I have to go once a week and they're helping me rehab, and I would be the identifiable object here.
Yeah, that's extra bonus
I just couldn't do it to them. They're really, really nice people there.
I looked like a pineapple because she had only done this part, and I had the big fro on top. So I had to go to another place to cut my hair. An hour later.
That's horrific.
We heard about you, sir.
You know why you should never be obese?
Obese?
Yeah. So Cindy had to prescribe Orlistat, and the common side effect for it are wet farts. And they recommend you have to wear a diaper. Can you imagine that? Wouldn't you rather just be fat?
I think so, yeah. Hey, you brought up Ciaran Fry after, well, you brought up the correct pronunciation. Mark Broster and Ciaran Fry, you said, right?
Ciaran Fry, yeah.
At Anger Management 15, the Octagon Club, and Anger Management 18, Holly Brawl. Tell us a little bit about that. What'd you get paid for those fights? We always get a kick out of hearing these, the stories of when people first start out their career. It's usually when they're making like $100 or.
Yeah, I don't remember about the second one. I know the first one was like £300.
Well, that's not bad.
So it was alright.
About $500.
And then whatever you made on tickets. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like it was, like I was fighting for free anyway, so it didn't like first pro fight. It didn't really.
Can you believe the steps one has to take as you eventually graduate to like where you're at now? You know, I mean, you look back and it's incredible what you had to go through, right, to get to where you're at now.
Definitely. I would say it's harder now as well. Like obviously, they're trying to make it more professional all around. So for the ones breaking into the professional, they got to pay out of their pocket to get all their medicals done and everything. So it's probably more difficult now. I think that's why you see a lot of the shows in the UK and Ireland. Like the amount of shows is kind of toned down, because they got that regulation. But obviously, it's a move forward for the sport too.
Well, we met you through Cage Warriors. You had a 4-1 run there, and now in the UFC, you're 4-2. Tell me a little bit about first. I'm curious, where's your contract status
now?
Yeah,
I just signed a new contract
with the UFC.
Yeah, that was my first fight on my new contract.
The one with James Vick?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many fights are on that contract?
There's another. What was it? Yeah, that's a good question. I forget now. You put me on the spot.
4, 6, 8?
No, I think it's 6.
6 fights?
6.
Okay, so you have 5 to go?
Yeah.
Did you have a fun free agency period? Did you contemplate Bellator, one championship, anybody else?
Yeah, I did. I contemplated. I was just kind of sitting back. I had a few things I needed to sort as well. I was moving apartments and all that type of stuff. So I just didn't want to rush everything. But it was pretty good. But I was glad to re-sign with the UFC. Obviously with the USADA stuff and all that. Like that was a big bonus for me. That was something I kind of felt passionate about, and I think it's in the long run it's going to make a big difference.
And you just signed new management, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in your free agency, did you do it alone, or did you have a former manager for that? How did that work out?
I was still with my manager at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was with Graham.
With Graham Boylan?
Yeah.
He was your manager?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And you re-signed for the James Vick fight?
Yeah.
And so now there's new management.
I say I re-signed in the summer, and then obviously we got the fight announced. Well, November the fight was, and then my contract ran out in January.
And did you have your contract with your manager? Is that one that runs out as well? I guess I'm just curious how you went from one manager to the next. What brought about that decision?
Yeah, it was up in January, and that's when I decided to start thinking about going elsewhere.
Gotcha. All right. So you signed with Dominance MMA, Ali Abdelaziz. Did you? How did that come about? Was it seeing him working with other athletes that drew you to him, or did somebody advise you, like, hey, this guy would be a good guy for you to meet sometime? Or
yeah, I didn't have a manager for a few months, and then in the period I was off after my shoulder, one of the guys was kind of on my case. He's like, look, it's a good time to start getting these things sorted when you haven't got a fight coming up or you haven't got the stress of that. He was like, it's probably a good time to get that sorted. So, I did a bit of research, and obviously I seen the guys that Ali was working with. Nasrat in the gym was telling me about Ali too, and just kind of went from there.
And now you are in between fights, but are you waiting for a bout agreement to show up, or is there something you'd like to shore up health-wise or anything before you get to that stage?
Yeah, that's it. I only had the shoulder done 3 weeks ago, so it's a labrum tear. So slow process.
So you'll be out for a while.
Yeah, I'm out for a little bit. That's why I'm here. I'm here in Vegas, up in the PI Institute. They're piecing me back together. So I'm working with Heather and Bobby up there, and all the guys. Like Clint sorting out my nutrition, Bo's looking at my conditioning and all this type of stuff. So when I'm here, I'm trying to improve all that stuff also. But Heather and Bobby, they're kind of putting me back together. So
where was the surgery?
Where?
Yeah.
In Montreal.
Okay, so now you're doing the rehab here for how long?
I'm here for 2 weeks. Like I was meant to stay a week, and then I only got the sling off last Monday. And I couldn't move it much. I didn't have much range of motion. I could lift it supported, but since I've been here, it's incredible the difference. Rehabbing in the institutes, it's made all the difference. Like I'm moving it around. And sometimes I even forget I got the injury. So Ali said to me, it's probably a good idea if you can stay another week, and I agreed. It's priceless the treatment I'm getting there. It really is. I would advise it to any of the athletes who get any surgery or any injuries. Get up to the institute and get it looked at, because them guys are top notch.
You'll go back to Montreal and do the rest of the rehab there, or do you see yourself coming back and using the PI to your benefit?
I think so. I think I'll be coming back. Like I said, it's been so good. I'll go back to Montreal now for a few weeks. I might go down to Brooklyn for the fights down there. And then I don't know. They said between the 8 and 12 week period is a good time to come as well, so you don't start relearning the movements wrong or whatever. So I might try and get back then. But when I first had the surgery, the surgeon was telling me 6 months before I'm throwing a shot. But after speaking with Heather, the way it's looking, she thinks come the summertime I could get back to full training. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, by then the division will shake out, probably different than the way it is now. The incumbent is probably going to be stripped in a few weeks, Conor McGregor. Tony and Khabib will fight for the undisputed title, and then we'll have other fights that are very high profile, like Barbosa and Kevin Lee, Gagey and Dustin Poirier, Iaquinta and Felder. So there's quite a few of them. By the time you come back healthy, the landscape will change a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. That's the beauty of MMA. It changes so fast. And there's lots of exciting fights going on now. So it's a pretty good time for the lightweight division. Yeah, by the time I get back, it's gonna be very different.
In your story, when you crapped your pants, you mentioned that your dad was with you for the weigh-ins, right? The weight cut.
Yeah.
Have your family always gravitated towards your career choice early on, or was there any resistance at all from family?
No, not at all, actually. Growing up, my mother actually trained with me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she trained. She competed in grappling, kickboxing. So, we spent a lot of time together. My dad was working a lot, but he was always a huge boxing fan. And then when I started competing, it was the amateur MMA circuit back then. There was no headshots, It was MMA, no headshots at all, just body shots and legs. And the only way you could win was a submission or a stoppage. If it won the distance, it was a draw. It was like a league. And he started coming to watch that, and then that was it. I don't think he missed a fight since.
Oh.
But he's done all my weight cuts with me, everything. My dad from day one's helped me with all that stuff.
So who introduced you into the Taekwondo as the first martial art, right, for you?
Taekwondo is the first martial arts. Actually, it's my brother's 40th birthday today, so I want to wish him happy 40th.
What's his name?
Martin.
Happy birthday, Martin. Martin Duffy?
Martin Duffy, yeah. But he's the one who got me started. He took me down to local martial arts, which was Taekwondo. It was Falcon's martial arts, and I went all the way, to Cage Warriors with them.
Wow.
And then I think I broke my hand, and not long after I moved to London, and then that's when I stopped training with them. But I was with them from like 5 all the way up until I was about 20. I'm not even sure now. 24 or 25 maybe.
Wow, you don't hear that often. I mean, that's like kind of like you'll hear some of those Tiger Showman guys are very similar. They'll come from the martial arts schools and got all the way to the UFC with that, and then that's really unique, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. Like my coach growing up, he was like my dad. I spent so much time training that he was someone I looked up to, and it was very hard leaving the gym. Like for me, it was probably the hardest thing in the whole experience of MMA.
But the relationship isn't fractured in any way?
A little bit. I suppose that's what makes it so hard. Growing up, all our team, we had a great team as a kid, and it just, it carried through until we're adults, and then I don't know, there was a few splits, and it just kind of made things hard work.
Do you and your bro talk?
Me and my brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm very close to my family. I was trying to FaceTime him before I left here, but he was driving up the house. But yeah, I'm close with all of them.
Did you wish him a happy birthday then too, or did you forget and just wish it right now while you were doing the show?
No, I wished him a happy birthday. I was up at like 4. I don't know, I'm jet lagged. I'm a bit. It's only 3 hours from Montreal.
Been here? Okay. You've been here a week though, right?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Can't do it, Joseph. Can't give you a pass. You should have shaken it by now.
Yeah. I'm all over the
You're
shop.
a professional athlete. You should adapt to these things quickly.
Yeah, I should.
So it's you and your dad that maybe just have a little bit of friction then.
Me and my dad?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I got confused somewhere along the line. I apologize.
Yeah. No. My old coach.
Your old coach. Okay. I thought your brother was your old boxing coach. I thought he was the one that you said brought you along. So I apologize.
No. He's the one who signed me up for the class.
Okay. Family's still intact. Everybody's rooting for Joseph Duffy at every fight.
Everyone's good for good as gold. Like they follow me ever. I couldn't ask for any more.
That's awesome. All right. Well, happy birthday to Martin Duffy. Happy the big 40. 40's the new 30. So don't worry about it, kid. You'll be all right. All right, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back. We'll be talking to Mike Swick, former UFC middleweight and welterweight. I think he may have actually fought as a light heavyweight, too, on the reality show. Yeah. He was on season 1, and now, of course, he's retired. And he is the host of the podcast Real Quick with Mike Swick. Subscribe to it on iTunes. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay close. Joseph Duffy in the house.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
The Jim Rome Show is now on SiriusXM weekdays at noon Eastern. Catch The Jungle and the rest of the CBS Sports Network on Channel 201 and on the SiriusXM app. All right, our next guest, former UFC veteran, who is now a gym owner of a beautiful gym in Phuket, Thailand. It's called AK Thailand. And I'm telling you, if you follow him on social media, like Twitter, for example, Official Swick, you'll see the development over the past few years. What started off as just a shovel in the ground. All right, let's get going, to one of the most amazing gyms I've ever seen. And aside from that, they just built a basketball court. They're gonna have fighter housing, and they have a juice shop, and all of this in the jungle, man. It's really, really beautiful, state of the art. Aside from that, I'm a big fan of his podcast, which launched last year. Real quick with Mike Swick, and here is UFC veteran Mike Swick. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Good, man. Welcome back to MMA Junkie Radio. You're on with George, Goes, and Dan. We also have UFC lightweight Joseph Duffy here with us, so it's quite a panel that we've assembled here. Hey, man, listen, I'm a huge fan of the podcast. It's really, really grown on me. I don't miss an episode. And that, along with the development of the gym, really, really happy for you, Mike. Former fighter who kind of came. I mean, you weren't, early 90s or anything like that, but still, I mean, you're one of the original waves of like the more modern era. And to see a fighter go in there, fight, have a great career, and now move on and transition and be so successful, I really tip my hat to all that.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
And so, I guess tell me, the gym just seems to keep growing. Are you like 50% done, 80% done? Every time like I tune in, you guys are working on something else. The latest, I guess, being that basketball court.
Man, maybe 20% done.
Whoa. Get out of here! 20% done?
Yeah, man. I'm building the largest gym in the world. Like, it's seriously going to be the largest gym in the world. We're actually starting, well, now because I'm in California, we're a little delayed. We're going to start probably next month on another 5,000 square foot Muay Thai facility. And then we're building a strength conditioning area. And then we're building a staircase, which is actually for like working out, but also has a viewing platform on top that's going to be ocean view. So you're going to have mountain view, ocean view, and gym view. It's 16 meters tall. That'll go right outside the CrossFit strength conditioning area. And then we're going to keep going from there, man. Like, it's incredible, man. Like, the amount of people that so far have come to the gym in just 4 years, and they keep coming, and the success stories. Not just the fighters, there's a big misconception that people think that it's only just fighters, man. That's a very minimal part of our gym, like professional fighters. We have the majority of our guests are coming in to train Muay Thai and have maybe their first Muay Thai fight just for an experience, or just to train in the serene landscape that we have and environment, to just say they trained in Muay Thai, or to just visit the gym. Some people just come take pictures and buy shirts and don't even train, So it's really cool seeing the success that we've built with people losing weight, obviously winning fights, accomplishing their goals, bucket lists, whatever the case. It's exciting, man. It's exciting to go into work every single day.
I'm telling you, man, this guy's going to build a roller coaster and a landing strip. Nothing's stopping him. He's very, very driven, and he's meeting all of his goals, so I believe him. If it's only 20% done, holy shit, I don't know what else is on tap, but I can't wait to see it. Mike Swick here, our guest on MMA Junkie Radio. AK Thailand is his baby. So he's always inviting people on the podcast to come out and visit. He's done some giveaways, so check it out. Subscribe on iTunes. It's called Real Quick with Mike Swick, along with his partner Mark there, dropping shows once a week.
So we get a lot of the views on iTunes. Actually, we just broke the top podcast. We went number 200. I was all excited. Somebody told me about it. But, I don't know how they ranked that or whatever. It was kind of cool just to see it on the iTunes top podcast list. But we're trying to make it more of a show for viewing than just listening. So we're really trying to build up the YouTube page. We have a lot of in-studio guests. Especially being so young, only 19 episodes in. We've had a lot of guys like Mark Hunt, Dan Hardy. We've had Daniel Cormier. We've had Mickey Rourke in his very first podcast ever. we not only had Dana White on the podcast, but then we actually drug him to Thailand, and he came to Thailand, stayed 11 days with us, trained, was at AK Thailand, did our first commercial for AK Thailand for us. We've had
Cody Garbrandt.
We've had Cody Garbrandt. We've had, and Cody was in studio. Mark Hunt was in studio. Noad Lahat from Bellator was in studio.
Oh, that guy was a character
so
too.
A lot of people come to them.
Yeah,
we got a lot of people coming in this month. Really big star coming in on last week of this month. So we're going to have him as well. We're going to do a seminar at AK, which we're going to announce tomorrow, and then we're going to have him in studio, of course, to another podcast. But it's a show, man. You got to watch it. You got to see what goes on because it's crazy, man. The things that goes on in Thailand, and we're going to start getting more into the kind of like lifestyle casting versus just MMA and breakdowns. People love the recaps and stuff, but like we have so much to talk about as far as living in Thailand. Is so beyond understanding when you live in America. Like it's so crazy. So we want to start like tapping into those stories and the day-to-day things that we see and hear from being in Thailand every day at this gym. So it's going to get really crazy.
Mike Swick, you're on a big national show right now. You sure you don't want to just drop that nugget right now? The news you're going to drop tomorrow, drop it here on MMA Junkie Radio.
Oh, there's some big news. You're talking about the guest that's coming in?
Oh, the guest, yeah.
Yeah, Shake Schultz. He's just coming into a seminar at AK Thailand. It's not like big news or anything. He's just coming in, and I've been talking to him about coming to AK for a long time. So he's coming in, and then there's some other things that are big news too that I can't really drop right now, but I'm always dropping things ahead of time. So as long as you stay tuned and follow me on Instagram and Twitter, whatever, you're going to definitely find out beforehand. But I'll be getting some pretty cool stuff done here in the States before I head back in the within the next week, and then that'll be on Instagram, and then when I get back, we continue to build. And we just built that basketball goal. That's crazy, man. I know people are like, what does that have to do with fighting? But it's not about fighting. It's about team building. It's about building something that you don't make money on, but you're building for the guest, so that you're showing we're here to build a team. We're here to build a gym resort, a luxury training gym resort. Not a gym or a camp or these other things. We're waiting in the barn. We're trying to do something that's never been done. So when you build a regulation half court like that, and you got guys out there excited and playing ball, you're building relationships, and family together, and that's what builds you as a fighter. Because when you train with the family, like Khabib said, Khabib Nurmagomedov, another guest on my podcast, who I'm here watching train right now in San Jose. When you have guys like that, like you said on the podcast, that are your family, like that you're loyal to a team. That's how you progress in the sport. That's how you get better. That's how you become a Khabib and a Daniel Cormier and a Luke Rockhold and a Cain Velasquez and a John Fitch and these guys. Because it's not necessarily your coach that teaches you everything, it's your training partners. And the more that you're close with your training partners, the more they're going to help you and you're going to help them. So, when you need help on the weekend and you need someone to train with, they're going to come help you, or on a holiday. And I remember Jake Shields is a good example. He needed help one time on Christmas or something. It was like a crazy holiday. I had nothing going on. I had no fights coming up. But I went in the gym and I helped him train. I gave him some sparring rounds, gave him some grappling. That's the kind of team that you need to really be successful. So we're not just building, facilities for just training. We're building facilities to bring everyone closer and to make it an experience and to do something that's never been done. A lot of the stuff that I have planned, it's never been done before. This is going to be unlike any gym in the world for sure.
Mike Swick, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. What do you have for Mike?
Mike, I'm sure there's a lot of raw talent that walks through those doors on a daily basis. When you get someone like that, how long does it take you to evaluate how well you think they're going to develop into?
Well, here's the process. So in this part of the world, we get a lot of the Russian demographic, like the Russian-speaking demographic from like the Tajikistan, Dagestan, Russia, Chechnya, all these places. So I'll take you through the first kind of like way it works. The fighter walks in the door and they say they've had 3 fights in some small show, and then they want a discount on training, and they want you to turn into a champion. And most gyms will be like, okay, cool, man, we'll do whatever you want, and you're the value. But for us, it's like, we're AKA, like we have so much value in building champions, and we have only so much resources. So there's a probation period at our gym. I mean, you have to come in, you have to prove yourself, you have to be able to mesh with the team, give back to the team, and be part of the team, in order to make it. So there's a 3-month probation period, unless you're a top fighter. Like we've had Mark Hunt come in and do fight camps, and we've cornered him for UFCs and So and stuff like that. But as far as people coming in to just be a sponsored fighter, you have to pass a 3-month probation, prove yourself, and then you get welcomed onto the team. And then obviously we corner you, and you're part of AKA, the family.
Mike, and then as far as I know that in mixed martial arts, a lot of people pay a lot of attention to Muay Thai, try and integrate that into their fight game. With just strictly the Thai fighters, what has their curiosity been towards mixed martial arts? Have they been kind of coming over a little bit more? Have you noticed?
I've been going to Thailand since 2000. I was there for basically the New Year's, the Millennium. And in the beginning, they had no idea what it was about. Over the years, it changed, and then eventually, the big gyms, like the super gyms, I call them. There's 2 super gyms in Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai and my gym. We're kind of like the super gyms, I guess you would call it, where we're not just like a gym. We have multiple buildings and facilities. We have a full-scale restaurant at my gym, multiple buildings. It's kind of like a camp, like a small city kind of. And so then this Tiger is the first one, so they started doing a little bit of MMA and stuff like that. So it's always been my dream to build a gym that was the same level of safety, cleanliness, state-of-the-art equipment and training, and obviously the curriculum that you have in the States, especially an AK curriculum, which is built champion after champion, star after star, in that part of the world. So you have everything you need in Thailand, but you also get to capture that entire Muay Thai program with authentic Muay Thai champion trainers, as well as a low economy, where fighters can come in and they can live and train full-time without having to have jobs, we had to live in San Jose in AKA. So we had to work two jobs sometimes and train because the cost of living is so high. In Thailand, you can get a furnished apartment for like $300 a month or $500 a month for these young fighters. We have a restaurant on site, a full-scale restaurant that seats over 100 people. So we have food plans for them that we can give them deals on food plans that are healthy, where they can eat for a couple bucks a meal, and we make it affordable so they can come in and they can focus solely on training. We have a BJJ program with a 3rd-degree black belt, Marcio Cesar Garcia, who's fought 40-plus times in MMA, plus he's a 3rd-degree black belt BJJ. We have 2 MMA programs, including a beginner for the guests and tourists and people that are just interested, and then the pro class, classes, I should say, that are the professional fighters. Then we have Muay Thai, we have strength and conditioning, we have the airline cardio blast, we have yoga, Western boxing, wrestling, we have everything. So, it's just a good fit for people who want to be a fighter. Like Dana has always said, you have a small window as a fighter to make it. And if you spend that time not utilizing everything you possibly can, and honestly being as selfish as you can, you're not going to make it. You go to all your family functions, and you go to all your parties and all your engagements, all these different things. You're not going to be a fighter. You're not going to be a UFC top-level fighter. You're going to have to spend every waking second and engulf training and breathe and live training. And so when you have to work 2 times a day or 2 jobs a day and pay bills and have stress and all that, that does get in the way of this obsession of training and success. So we're trying to take that out of the way, and I built a gym in what I feel to be the perfect location on one of the most beautiful islands in the world in Thailand with a low economy, where fighters can come in and they can train without the stress of having to work at all, and usually they can get sponsored enough money to live, or we help them, or they have enough, and they can just focus on training all day long, every day, and utilize every hour to make their career successful. And like I said, the location's beautiful, and then on top of that, that's just the fighter program, which is one of our smallest. I mean, we cater to celebrities. We have all kinds of Hollywood celebrities that come in now, and top-level fighters and things like that. So I'm also kind of taking the Dubai approach of building just an incredible gym that you have to see to believe, so that we can cater to not only the professional fighters, but we can cater to tourists, and we can cater to people that are just wow, we just want to see this place and come here and see what it's about and be a part of it, take a picture. So a lot of the people that come in and visit don't even train, literally not even a single set. They just come in and take pictures and buy shirts and say they were there, or they may drop in for one Muay Thai session because they're in a rush or whatever the case. So I'm kind of trying to take on all aspects to generate people to come in and build and grow this small city.
Folks, you got to listen to the podcast. Like he said, big presence on YouTube because they do have in-studio guests. And I will give a quick plug. One of the things I really enjoyed is when Mike goes down memory lane and just talks about some of the old days, whether it was at AKA or just through his fighting career. I think a lot of you will really, really dig it. So check it out. Subscribe to it on iTunes if you want to do it that way, or subscribe on YouTube. It's called Real Quick with Mike Swick. And in the podcast, catch up too. They're like 20 episodes in, so there's plenty. It's really easy to catch up and then be up to date. He's had some real cool guests. I think you'll really dig it. And they also talk a lot about what the gym offers. So, like Mike said, beginners, get out there. You'll really dig it. Tourists, get out there. You'll really dig it. And of course, if you're a fighter, he's had plenty of fighters come through already. So it's a world-class facility. Mike, thanks for spending some time with us here on MMA Junkie Radio. It's been great to catch up with you. Congrats on all the continued success, and hopefully we can talk again soon sometime.
Man, I appreciate it, buddy.
Okay.
And also, just for the people who are interested in the actual gym, it's akthailand.com. So, and at akthailand on Instagram, we have all the pictures, all the updates. We have albums of everything. So if they want to find out more about the gym, appreciate you having me on the show. It's always been great, and I look forward to coming back on, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Take care. We'll see you.
All right, brother.
All right, bye.
See ya.
All right, folks, we're going to take our last break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM, Rush 93. And again, our guest was Mike Swick. Follow him on Twitter at @OfficialSwick. Stay close. We'll be right back. I used to say she was like Bret Hart, the pro wrestler, doing the sharpshooter on my leg, tucking it in and bending it.
So you still have to go back?
I have to go back, yeah.
You're paying to go back.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. You told me that code would get rid of them. Yeah, well, they're still here. Okay, but now they know I tried to kill them. Hold on, Mom. Here are George and Goes.
All right, we're short on time. SiriusXM's got a lot of great channels. Listen to them. Goes. What do you have for Joseph Duffy here to wrap things up?
All right, so Joseph, I was pulling up a press conference here. It's the Go Big UFC press conference. And I remember this press conference because I was watching you while everybody else was watching Conor McGregor. And he's going after Jose Aldo. He's going after Cowboy, Mendez.
Was Jeremy Stevens in that one?
I think
is
that
that who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that was The Time Is Now. Was that the same one? Or?
I think that's the same one.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
So he's going after everyone. And all I can think of is Joseph Duffy's back there. And I wonder if at any moment he's going to raise his hand and say, you got anything to say about me? Now, I know that you kind of, when it comes to Connor, I know you don't really throw things out there, throw jabs or anything. But in that particular setting, was it ever a temptation to just kind of do that?
Not really. Like, it's not really my style, you know. I'm trying to just be myself. So, even with all that going on, like, it's not really me, you know.
What were you thinking as it was going on?
Tell you the truth, I was just laughing my head off. It was hilarious. You know, like he was shredding people, he was ripping them apart. We were actually arguing backstage before we came out.
Oh, yeah?
You and Connor?
Yeah.
What happened?
Just a few words back and forth, you know.
How did it start?
I don't know. I think we're leaving the room to kind of queue up to go on stage, and he was like, "Oh, how's the Canadian?" or something. So we're back and forth a little bit, and
that's right.
Like he was backstage, he was pacing a little bit. He was chatting shit a bit, but you know, whatever. It didn't really bother me too much.
He teases you about being an Irishman, raised in Wales and England too, right? I think.
Yeah,
you moved to England for a while.
Moved to England for a while,
and now living in Canada.
Yeah.
You just roll with it, or
you know.
What'd you say back to him though? You said it was an argument. Was it one-sided, or did you say something back?
I just said, "How's number 2? Like the second best fighter in Ireland?" And then he was cracking up. He was like, he was saying, "You know, I enjoy my hard work and all this, but like, I don't mention his name. I get asked about him in interviews, but it's not my style. You know, I don't want to bring it up." So I just told him I would enjoy it. So that was it. Like, I'm not gonna get drawn into all that crack. Like, it's not my scene.
It's been nice meeting you, man. Seriously, you're really, really a fine gentleman. Like, you can tell you're all class. It's not just an act. As far as like you just don't getting involved in trash talk. Seems like you like to do your talking with with your fists.
That's what I try.
But hey, it's you've still been very enjoyable 2 hours getting to know you, telling stories. So thank you so much for committing to that and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure, especially after all these years. It's nice to finally meet.
Exactly, yeah. We did the phoner many times, but now we got to meet in person. And you're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you and hear more stories about boxing. You boxed for 3 years, and we'd love to hear more about that. But we ran out of time for today. So big thanks to Mike Swick, Curtis Blaydes, and Joseph Duffy. Shout out to Ali for facilitating that one. And, of course, shout out to myself for facilitating Swick. Rick Guerrero for the Blaydes interview. So we'll be back tomorrow with Aspen Ladd and Max Griffin. Until then, go out there, folks, and be a champion.